You know, when the new war first came out, I briefly dabbled in some Drifter gameplay before going straight back to playing my Operator, because for the longest time I didn't really like how my Drifter looked, but with a bunch of updates that came out between now and the new war, as well as, of course, Duviri now being a thing, I'm now highly incentivized to play the Drifter, and I feel like I've actually come across a Drifter look that I actually like. We're here in the Drifter's camp with the Drifter. This is what my Drifter looks like. So, I feel like she looks pretty good. To me, like, the Operator is more successful, I think, in creating a face that is, you know, cuter, I guess, for want of a better word. But the Drifter does have a much more adult look about her. Or him, if you're going for a male aesthetic, of course. But the Drifter does have a lot more options with regards to clothing, which does make it a lot easier to produce an overall look that I think is a lot better than the Operator. Let's have a quick look at the choices that I've made in order to make my Drifter look like this. We'll start off with the appearance. We'll start off with her face. Her face is a blend of the 7th Visage and the 13th Visage, 70% blend. Skin color is one of the paler ones. I'm not entirely sure which one it actually is. Lip color, of course, coming from the Classic Saturated Palette Pink. Accent color, a Classic Saturated Teal. The accent color, of course, being the eyebrows and the eyelashes, rather, and the face shadow, if you will. So that's essentially what that's about. Of course, the rest of the particular look will involve Drifter Cut number 21, which is actually one of the newer hairstyles that Dee released a while ago. Essentially a hairstyle that isn't as smooth as the original hairstyles that came with Drifters and Operators. The hair colors coming from the Classic Saturated palette, just a lot of dark blues in order to give that nice blue look of a blue hair chick. Because I feel like blue hair actually looks really good on her. I tried green hair, it wasn't really up to scratch. Red hair is kind of nice too. Everyone loves a good old-fashioned brunette. But yeah, I've gone for a bit of a dark blue hair look there, with a ponytail. Okay, in terms of her eyes, I have actually gone for heterochromia. So essentially, left eye is a purple from the Twilight set. So the Twilight set is this one right here. Otherwise, we've got Classic Saturated Teal, Red, Gold, for want of a better word, and a green glow. And of course, the glow is actually very important, because if you find yourself in a dark environment, like for example, inside Teshin's cave, or let's say, making her a little bit more backlit, you can't see the other colors, but you can see the green. And that green will shine through in those dark areas with those hard to see places. So yeah, I do like that green glow. It kind of makes it seem nice, is I think the best way to describe it. Okay. Yeah, obviously the voice I'm using is the Raven voice. It's the same Raven that I am using for the Operator. Obviously, Operator Raven and Drifter Raven is a little bit different, but I feel like maintaining that continuity is the right approach. And I haven't actually bothered to do any Visage ink, because that's essentially tattoos. As you can see, I'm not a tattoo person myself, so I've decided not to do that. But I have seen on the subreddit some very interesting uses of the visages in order to create certain cosplays, like Ragnarok Thor, as in from the MCU. I think someone's managed to do Kratos. So yeah, there's definitely some amazing options that you can choose from there. Also, real quick, no beard. I'm playing a chick, I don't think I should have a beard. Okay, let's have a look at the clothing. In terms of facial accessories, we have the Sophron diadem, which is actually mostly shown right between the slits of my convolvulus oculus, I think, because the Sophron diadem, yeah. Sophron diadem is mainly this bit right here. Otherwise, the rest of it kind of blends together with the convolvulus oculus, which is actually a Tenogen option. As well as the Cogna earpiece being this great big glass thing right here, which I think came about when Gara was released. I'm not 100% sure about that. In terms of the colors, very simply, black from the Smoke color set, which is the Stalker color set, and Twilight purple. Transparent suit. no hood, because I want to keep that collar popped and fashionable. And you can get that popped collar through the Templar Prime suit, and obviously I'm using the Templar Prime set. I don't know, the Prime suits just look really, really nice. Templar Prime is the one I think that came from Harrow. Yes, came from Harrow Prime. The other one, of course, being something like Const or something rather Prime. Is not available for the Drifter at the present moment. But essentially, oh, you have the Bishamo set is now available for the Drifters as well. But yeah, I'm going for the Templar Prime suit. I just think it looks really, really nice. It's like this nice, well-fitting suit, and you know me in suits, like, you give me the opportunity to wear a nice, well-tailored suit, and I will wear the hell out of a well-tailored suit indeed. And also, you know, women in suits. Oh, what a look. It's an incredible look. It truly is an incredible look. In terms of the colors, black from the Classic Saturated palette. It's not really black. It's like more of a dark gray, but I think the dark gray looks a little bit better than black, because black, I mean, it's not going to make a huge difference here, but sometimes you just want to add that level of shading, just a bit of extra brightness to the otherwise very dark shade, so that the details of the, for want of a better word, fabric can show through, and I just want to be able to see those details without having to shine a great big light on it. Secondary color, white from the Classic Saturated palette, or the Classic palette, although frankly the Classic and the Classic Saturated palette whites, they are in fact the same. Tertiary colors are both Twilight purples, and secondary suit energy color is like a yellowy gold. It honestly doesn't matter for the most part. In terms of the sigil, it's the Saikuda Prime sigil. I think it looks really nice. There are obviously a couple of other sigils that I like as well. I think one of them is a rather old sigil for the most part. See if I can find it. Not Riftwalker. It's some other Prime sigil. Ah! Yeah, Valorum Prime sigil. It's also another one that I like a lot. So yeah, it's either Valorum or Saikuda Prime sigil is probably the way for me. Animation set, Noble. I always go for Noble animations myself, whether it be all of my Warframes pretty much using Noble animations, with the possible exception of one, but I can't remember which one it is. Now let's have a look at the attachments. I've gone for the Imugi Prime set, the Chroma Prime set, basically. I mean, come on, it's Imugi Prime. It always looks wonderful, grand, and regal, no matter who you use it on. So if you want to just make a statement of having big shoulder pads, you go for Imugi Prime, 100%. Imugi Prime is always a good choice, in my opinion. I think the other thing that you can attach to that is the ephemera. Now, this one was a real tricky one, because originally I wanted to use wings. I didn't want to use Zarina ephemera, which is a really, really nice looking ephemera that I'm currently using on my operator. I wanted to make them a little bit different. I wanted to not use the same ephemera on my drifter that I was using on my operator. So naturally, if I can't use that one, then I'll use wings. In particular, the Nyctalus wings, the bat wings, the demon wings. Problem is, in Deviri in particular, I am finding that the wings actually get in the way. In normal Warframe gameplay, this is not the case, but in Drifter gameplay, for some reason, whether it be Drifter gameplay or even Drifter menu gameplay, I'm finding the wings to get in the way quite a lot. I might swap back to the wings later on, but for now I'm using the Shard Hex ephemera, which I think is actually using the shards from my currently equipped Warframe, i.e. Mag. Protofire is also an interesting choice, but considering that Mag is also using Protofire right now, I didn't want to match those two. In terms of the colors, black from the Classic Saturated palette, Classic Saturated white, Classic Saturated black for the tertiary, Classic Saturated yellowy gold for the accent, with the emissive of teal into green, and an energy color of green into sort of a yellowy gold. Essentially, my color scheme is greens, purples, blacks, whites, and golds is basically my color scheme. And then, of course, the Syandana that I'm using, which is fantastic that I can actually put a Syandana on my Drifter as opposed to my Operator, who I believe just simply is too short to be using Syandanas. Isabeau Prime Syandana. You can never go wrong with the Syandana that came from Equinox Prime. Black on one side, the saturated black, classic saturated white on the other side, with a Twilight Tertiary purple, gold on the accents, which is really the gold bits right there, with an emissive of teal into green, which actually affects the pattern at the bottom of the Syandana, with an energy color of purple into blue, which honestly doesn't really do a whole lot. You're really going to be seeing the purple, and that's about it. So yeah, this is my Drifter. When she's not using the Shiroko Indiviri, she is using Karagari's Verity, the amp that is my personal recommendation. I've done a video on Karagari's Verity if you'd like a refresher on how it works and how it feels against more recent enemies. I can potentially redo the video. But Karagari's Verity is, in my opinion, very, very strong. I've seen in the subreddit, what is this? I've seen in the subreddit that sometimes people are wondering like, oh no, I've been given a bunch of crap weapons and crap warframes. How am I supposed to fight Steel Path enemies? A well-made amp, in my opinion, is the answer. And Matarine, of course. But yeah, a well-made amp I'm finding is quite effective when you don't really want to rely on whatever warframe you were mostly forced to choose. But as long as you get more opportunity intrinsics, you will eventually have the option of, I think, choosing between 1 and 5 warframes and potentially some special guests. So, you know, at that point, you're probably going to end up with something that you like, but you'll just have to figure it out from there. Anyway, let me know about all of this in the comments below. How's your Drifter looking? Do you like how your Drifter looks? Have you managed to come up with a look for your Drifter? Let me know in the comments. I would say that it's probably significantly easier to create a nice looking guy operator, oh sorry, a nice looking guy Drifter, than it is to make a nice looking guy operator. Mainly because I personally have found all of the operator faces for guys just a little bit off. But definitely with the fact that you have beards now available and the fact that the guys' faces for the adults actually seem pretty good, I think you're in a good spot to actually go for a dude with your Drifter at the very least. Let me know in the comments if you play a female operator and a male Drifter or vice versa, because that's some interesting lore implementations, or lore implications. So, you know, maybe the makeover mage really does exist in Warframe, for example, or, you know, maybe they've actually gone ahead and allowed that kind of surgery to take place in the Zariman. Let me know in the comments if you're doing any of that. Otherwise, hope you guys enjoyed it. If you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more Warframe content, and until next time, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Peace.